Hola chicos, hoy vamos a echar un vistazo a paquete diario número 42. And in número 42, it looks like what we're going to be working on is the verb ir. Okay, so we're looking at those forms, voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van, and trying to decide which ones go into the blanks down below. And it looks like it's split up into what we call versos or verses. So when we look at our instructions, it says to listen carefully to the songs and then do the best we can to fill in the blanks with the correct form of ir. Hopefully trying to, through that process, construct a little bit of understanding of how we use that verb. So all you really need to do is click this icon here. That'll play a little song for you. ¿A dónde vas? Voy, vas, va, vamos, van. So as you're going through and hearing that song play, you're going to decide kind of what would go into these blanks, right? So the first part of the song went, ¿A dónde vas? Voy, vas, va, vamos, van. And all you have to do then is take the words from over here and drag them to the little white blanks. Voy, vas, va, vamos, van was what we heard, right? ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Okay, so let's kind of now keep listening to the song and see if we can figure this out. Voy, vas, va, vamos, van. ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Voy, vas, va, vamos, van. ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Este fin de semana. ¿A dónde vas? I heard va. ¿A dónde vas? Este fin de semana. ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Voy al parque. ¿A dónde van? Ella va al parque. ¿A dónde van? Vamos al parque. ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Voy a la playa. ¿A dónde va? Él va a la playa. ¿A dónde van? Ellos van a la playa. ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Voy a jugar fútbol en el parque y voy a la playa para nadar. Voy a jugar fútbol en el parque y voy a la playa para nadar. ¿A dónde vas? Voy, vas, va, vamos, van. ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Voy, vas, va, vamos, van. ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Este fin de semana. ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Este fin de semana. ¿A dónde vas? Okay. Looks like we got it figured out there, except for this one little tiny blank. So really what I want you to realize is that even if you didn't get the whole thing, you can always go back and listen again, right? So I got pretty much all the words from my song in here. And then it's just a matter now of using what I've put into these blanks to kind of like do a little bit of reflecting on what this is all kind of saying to us. So when it went, ¿A dónde vas? Voy, vas, va, vamos, van. ¿A dónde vas? It's basically just listing our forms, right? It's just listing our forms. So we can actually use that to do some predicting down below. When it asks us for our predicción número uno, or our prediction number one, this is kind of what we're looking for right here when we do our first set of predictions. So that's going to be the first thing that we do. And really all it's asking us to do actually is to drag those forms that we just kind of learned from the song into our blanks, right? So it goes, ¿A dónde vas? Voy, vas, va, vamos, van. ¿A dónde vas? So we're able to say voy, vas, va, vamos. And wait a minute. There's 6 blanks here and only 5 words. Where does this van go? Does this van go with the vosotros form or the ellos, ellas, ustedes form? Well, it goes down here because in the song, when they say, ¿A dónde vas? Voy, vas, va, vamos, van. The person who's saying that probably does not come from Spain, which is the only place that vice term is used, being that it's the vosotros form. And that's actually also why you're not going to end up seeing the word vice anywhere in the song either, okay? And so this one ends up being voy. It's just a repeat of what happened there. And then we've got all of our words kind of dragged at this point, which is awesome, okay? Now here's an important question. We've got all these words dragged, but what does the verb ir actually mean? When we are asked to kind of dig into what the verb ir actually means and make our little prediction here, all these parts of the song, we're talking about where people go. And so ir in its infinitive form means to go, And we'll use that anytime we're talking about places that we're going to, as well as to say what we are going to do. But using kind of some cognates and some context from this video that was provided, or sorry, the song that was provided. We're going to see if we can match up these places to their English equivalents, okay? So you can say a sentence like, yo voy al trabajo, yo voy al colegio, yo voy al entrenamiento, right? And so that's great. But now it's a matter of what it is that we actually want to kind of, what we mean when we say these things, okay? And so all we have to do is write the letter that is represented by these types of words here on these lines, right? So when we say things like, yo voy al trabajo, we had to figure out if that means I go to school, to the gym, to the beach, to work, to the park, or to practice, okay? And let's start with the ones that are obviously a little bit more obvious. So when we say something like yo voy al parque, in the song it was voy al parque or whatever. Yo voy a jugar fútbol en el parque. That means that you go to the park, obviously. So we'll just put the letter E there, okay? We've already seen some of these ones like la playa before. I hope we're able to remember that that does mean to go to the beach. Gimnasio kind of looks like gym, and that'll be our gymnasium one here. So that'll be B. Then we get down to some that are maybe a little bit trickier, but we do have some context and some prior knowledge that hopefully will help us figure this stuff out. For example, this word trabajo kind of probably looks like the word trabajador or trabajadora, which we got to think all the way back to our unit on describing ourselves to remember that when we talked about someone being trabajador or trabajadora, they were hardworking. And so when we say yo voy al trabajo, we're saying that they go to work. And so that one will be the letter D. And then down to these last two here, we've got colegio and entrenamiento. When we just kind of identify those words, colegio is a kind of hidden cognate there that kind of looks like college. And that is kind of how you would refer to more of like a secondary school, like middle school and high school. So then finally that leaves entrenamiento. And when you say yo voy al entrenamiento, that would be like going to like a sports practice. So the letter FA there. Now, really, that one should be a little bit obvious too, because check it out. Entrenamiento is like where you go to train or entrenar. And so it's your training or your sports practice. And with that said, that really ends up being your total entire paquete diario. We're using it just to kind of explore the verb ir more in class. Gracias, chicos, y nos vemos.